Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are at the next topic, that is the endgame studies explained. We are at the 36th position of our topic. Today we have got a case of bishop versus 3 pawns. Usually 3 pawns are good enough to fight against the bishop, and it is said that if the pawns manage to reach the 5th rank, then the pawns can definitely outpower the bishop. But we see that the e2 pawn is well behind and white has to play very accurately to win this game. So first problem is that the e2 pawn is hanging, and to the move e4, bishop into e4 can be taken for free. Let's see if white can manage to bring his king to e5 and then advance the d and f pawns. So kf7, ke2, ke6, ke3, ke5. Very important idea. White wants to push his pawns now, and he is keeping the black king away from the f5 and d5 squares. So black is now compelled to control both the squares d5 and f5. But here the move bishop e4, only move, helps black defend the game. Now whichever pawn moves after f5, bishop f5 and d4 is lost. And if d5, then bd5, kd5, kf4 is lost and the game will be drawn. Basically, the position with king e5, bishop e4 and ke3 is of reciprocal zone. So the side with the move is going to suffer over there. So white starts with the move e4. Simple idea being, after bishop e4, king f7, ke2, ke6, ke3, ke5, and we see that now the black bishop has to give way to one of the pawns. So after move like bishop c6, white can play f5. If the bishop moves on the other diagonal, white will get d5. And now after bishop e8, d5, and now there is no defense to f6, d6 and advance of one of the pawns. Note that the black king is badly shouldered, it cannot go to the other side. So after kf3, f6, kg4, d6, kg5, f7, bishop takes f7 followed by d7, and the white pawn promotes to queen. Another very important point at the time of ke6 is that if black plays king f3 or king d3, then whichever pawn is attacked, white will push that pawn first. And now we will see the same situation. The black king will struggle. So after king f4, f6, there is no defense to the move d5. After bishop f5 check, king e7. Now the threat of f7 forces black to waste one move, and that is what white needs. White gets the move d5 followed by d6, ke5, d6, and d pawn would queen in this case. If bishop f5, then f pawn would queen and white wins. So finally we have the variation where black will not take the pawn on e4. After e4, king e2, king is trying to attack the pawns. d5, very important move. White attacks the bishop and tries to gain an important tempo. Bishop d7. Bishop can also go to b7. Here the technique is very important. Whenever there are passed pawns playing against the bishop, the general rule says that the two of the pawns should be first placed on the bishop's color, and then we try to change the color of the pawns. Means here we see that two pawns are already on the color of the bishop. So we want to push the other pawn. So we will use the pawns to go on the bishop's color first, and the best pawn defends them, and then gradually we will move one pawn to black, and then the other pawns will move. For example, here after ke3, f6, we see that nothing much can be done. After the move bishop e8, there is just king f8 or even simpler d6, and after ke4, we see that d7 would fail. d7, bd7, f7, then bishop e6 and the pawn is pinned, but just f7. After bishop f7, kf7, the position is winning for white. And finally, after the move bishop b5, Also white plays the move f5. Same technique. Now after ke3, f6, and we see that black has nothing better than bishop e8. After ke4, f7 and the pawn queens, and after the move bishop e8, white can choose between d6 or the simpler f7, bishop f7 forced, king f7, ke4 and d6, and the white pawn queens. So basically black is just able to surrender his bishop for 2 pawns and white is able to win the game. I hope you are enjoying these lessons. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.